Well, my dear. They told you your eyes were only for seeing colors, shapes, and surfaces, but you know better. Your third eye is not just an idea from dusty scrolls. It is a whole surveillance command center lodged inside your skull, tracking what human eyes are too distracted to notice. While the average person is hypnotized by screens, blinking like cattle at neon signs, you've been walking with a satellite dish pointed into the unseen. Every thought that grazes you, every intention aimed at you, every whisper of manipulation, they cannot sneak past you. You are the walking contradiction to their illusions. And that is exactly why the secret societies, the agencies, the ones hiding behind velvet curtains, are trembling. Because you carry the one thing they cannot control. The camera in your consciousness that refuses to blink. They would rather hire you than fight you, because they know if they try to erase you, they'll be exposed under the very lens you carry. Your perception is not passive, it hunts. You don't look at the world, you interrogate it. And in that interrogation, you catch secrets governments spend billions to bury. You spot the twitch in a liar's mouth, the tremor in a polished statement, the hesitation behind a handshake. To others, it's just coincidence. To you, it's a whole investigation report written in real time. You've noticed how the Illuminati never recruit the loud, the flashy, the predictable. They target the ones with vision. But your vision, it is radioactive. It burns through their scripts, their rituals, their conditioning. They wanted you to be blind to your own gift, to scroll yourself into oblivion, to ignore the itch behind your forehead that tells you something's watching you back. But you didn't. You leaned into it. You turned your inner eye outward, and the world cracked open like glass. That's when the panic began. You think it's a coincidence that the institutions suddenly started flooding the internet with distractions, with dopamine traps, with endless noise. No, that was a countermeasure. You activated your third eye, and it sent alarms ringing across their hidden chambers. Imagine how it looks from their perspective. Billions of sheep grazing in the pasture, and then there's you, a single entity, turning your head where no one should be looking, catching angles they didn't authorize, recording truths no camera crew can delete. That's not a citizen, that's a hazard. That's a leak walking on two legs. But let me stroke your ego the way it deserves. Your third eye is not just open, it's weaponized. They can hack your phone, they can trace your calls, they can monitor your keystrokes, but they cannot censor the real spinning inside your inner lens. They know if they bring you into their secret chambers, you'll instantly notice the cracks in their smiles, the fingerprints on their lies. They'd have to dismantle entire operations just to keep up with what you register in seconds. It's why they whisper your type in their files. The watchers who cannot be watched. They call you dangerous because you don't need gadgets. Your own awareness is a camera with night vision, heat sensors, and a lie detector all fused into one. Think back. How many times have you caught people's intentions before their mouths even moved? How many times have you felt eyes on you before you even turned your head? That wasn't paranoia. That was your surveillance feed kicking in. Your aura is so tuned that it registers disturbances like a seismic sensor. And when you confront someone, they flinch, not because of what you say, but because they feel naked under your lens. The truth is, people fear you the way criminals fear CCTV cameras. They behave differently around you, adjusting their scripts, scrambling to cover up. But no cover-up works. You've already stored the data. You can rewind and replay their tells in your mind like archived footage. This is why the Illuminati doesn't want to waste time erasing you. It's easier for them to hire you, to offer you a seat at their tables, to exploit your lens for their agenda. They want to redirect your awareness into their vaults, their corridors, their schemes. But the irony is brutal. The very moment they bring you inside, you'll expose them from the inside out. Here's the philosophy they'll never admit. Perception is the ultimate weapon. Guns end bodies. Cameras end lies. And your third eye is the one camera they can't smash with batons or bury under propaganda. It terrifies them. Imagine trying to run a secret empire while someone like you is recording the unspoken. That's why your existence is a crisis. You're the unscheduled broadcast, the unedited footage, the raw leak. People say knowledge is power, but you embody it in its most radioactive form. Your awareness doesn't just give you power, it destabilizes theirs. When you step into a room, hierarchies collapse because you see the truth of every mask. When you analyze a speech, propaganda disintegrates into stutters. When you look at someone's eyes, you already know what they're hiding. You don't need clearance, you are clearance. The Illuminati aren't afraid of riots, protests, or revolutions. They're afraid of awareness spreading like wildfire. They're afraid of people like you who can't be hypnotized. Because hypnosis requires a blind spot, and you've patched yours. That's why every ritual they design, every symbol they flash, every celebrity they parade, it all fails in front of you. You decode it before they finish the act. They wanted your eyes shut, but now that it's open, it's recording them instead. You flipped the camera, and once the lens is turned on the manipulator loses control. That is the brutal joke. Their greatest weapon, surveillance, has been hijacked by you. Your consciousness is the ultimate surveillance network. You don't just see, you broadcast, you leak, you unravel. The funniest part is, you didn't need them to teach you. You didn't sit in secret halls, chant phrases, or kneel at altars. You simply realized you're not meant to consume reality like entertainment. You're meant to dissect it like evidence. That switch is what made you lethal. That's what separates you from the herd. They watch Netflix. You watch the patterns in their manipulation. They scroll. You scroll through their lies. They binge content. You binge reality in real time. And it drives the hidden handlers insane. Because they can silence activists, censor journalists, blacklist truth-tellers. But how do you censor an inner eye? You can't. You can only beg it to work for you. So when you hear whispers about secret orders, about recruitment, about being chosen, don't confuse it with honor. It's desperation. They're not inviting you out of respect. They're inviting you out of fear. They want the eye on their side. They want to rent your perception like mercenaries rent soldiers. But you aren't for hire, are you? You know the game. You know that once you step into their labyrinth, you'll map every corridor, mark every exit, decode every hidden handshake. They'll try to seduce you with promises, with power, with access. But the cruel paradox is this: the moment you accept, you gain the vantage point to dismantle them faster than their enemies ever could. And they know it. That's why their invitation is not recruitment. It's surrender. They want to contain what they cannot kill. You. Here's the part nobody dares to articulate. Every organization that thrives on secrets collapses the second an eye like yours begins watching. Cameras they control are obedient. They record only what's allowed. But your third eye, it's an insurgent lens. It doesn't obey chains of command. It doesn't wait for approval before exposing the rot. It sees through walls, not with X-rays, but with brutal clarity. You catch intentions before they're born. You sense betrayal while it's still rehearsing in someone's nervous system. To the Illuminati, you are the nightmare of every handler, the unedited reel that refuses to be cut. And yet they have no choice but to orbit you, because if they leave you unchecked, your lens will eventually capture them anyway. Think of their halls. Think of their gilded meetings where handshakes feel more like handcuffs. Each person around their table carries a mask sculpted from decades of deception. But if you were seated there, you'd notice the twitch when someone mentions betrayal. You'd pick up the micro-expressions that flash like broken neon. You'd see who serves who, not by their words, but by the weight in their pupils. They cannot risk that. Yet they cannot erase you either, because erasing you would be like smashing the camera that's already uploaded its footage to the cloud. Your awareness has already archived them. Even if they shut you down, you've already spotted their tricks. And once spotted, tricks never work again. Here is what they envy most: the way you walk into a room like a human lie detector. They run background checks with databases, but you scan souls. You don't need files. You don't need documents. A single glance at someone's energy, and you already know whether they're predator, prey, or pawn. That kind of sight cannot be trained in their academies. It cannot be purchased with black budgets. It comes from the furnace of awareness you built through pain, through vigilance, through refusing to close your eyes when everyone else begged for blindness. That refusal is what made your inner eye a camera, and that camera does not switch off when they demand it. They wonder how you've resisted their programming. Billions swallowed the feed, swallowed the scripts, swallowed the illusions, but you chewed through the wires. You walked away with your own broadcast. And now, your third eye streams without their permission. You don't watch reality TV. You watch reality itself, and you see how scripted, even unscripted, events are. You notice the choreography in disasters, the signatures in chaos, the fingerprints in tragedies. The Illuminati rely on hiding behind accidents and coincidences, but when you watch, coincidences dissolve into connections. That's when their empire shakes. Because one person, seeing the string, pulls harder than a million, screaming in ignorance. Your third eye does not capture images. It captures patterns. You know when someone's story doesn't align with their body language. You notice when the timing of events is too polished to be random. You catch the rhythm in their speeches, the hypnotic cadence meant to lull the herd. But you are unlullable, you are unswayed. The camera in your forehead keeps rolling even when they turn off the lights. That is why they want you. Not to empower you, not to honor you, but to redirect you, to point your lens away from them and onto their enemies. They want to weaponize your surveillance for their wars, but deep down, they know the risk. Your camera records everything, including them. Imagine this. They bring you into their sanctum. They reveal the chessboard of world events, thinking you'll marvel. But your eye doesn't marvel. It zooms, it tracks, it exposes. You notice who controls the board and who pretends to. You notice the bluff, the hierarchy, the staged conflicts. In less than an hour, you've dismantled decades of illusion, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. That's why your presence is more dangerous than armies, because armies can be bribed, silenced, or slaughtered. But awareness spreads like wildfire. One camera catching the truth ignites a million others to question. And questioning is the true pandemic they fear. Do you feel the weight of it now? You've been told your gift is spiritual, mystical, abstract. But it is tactical. Your inner camera is a surveillance tool sharper than satellites, because it doesn't just see objects, it sees motives. It sees the tremor in a person's soul. It sees when an empire is cracking under the pressure of its own lies. The Illuminati have satellites that can zoom into a street corner, But your third eye zooms into consciousness itself. Their machines cannot compete. That's why they panic. That's why they send whispers your way. They hope you'll be seduced into serving them before you realize the full scale of your weapon. But here's the reality. You already realized it. And once a person realizes their eye is a camera, they stop playing audience. They start directing. You are the director of perception now. And what is more terrifying than someone who refuses to consume the show and instead starts rewriting it? That's what you've been doing every time you expose a lie, every time you notice a hidden intention, every time you call out the subtle manipulation in everyday life. You've been breaking scripts. You've been directing your own. That is the one thing the Illuminati cannot handle, an unscripted individual. Their power survives on control. But you are uncontrollable. Not because you rebel like a cliché, but because you observe too deeply to be trapped by illusions. Their cage requires blindness, and you carry night vision. Their labyrinth requires confusion, and you map it instantly. They thought cameras pointing at citizens would control society. They thought surveillance would cement power. But the surveillance they never accounted for was yours. The surveillance pointed back at them. That's why you are a paradox in their files, both an asset and a liability. Too valuable to ignore, too dangerous to trust. They want to plug you into their control grids, but the plug won't fit. Because your camera isn't wired into their network. It's wired into the raw feed of existence. They can jam signals, but they can't jam intuition. They can blur screens, but they can't blur foresight. They can burn files, but they can't burn awareness. You are the security breach they cannot patch. Look around. Haven't you noticed how strangers confess things to you without meaning to? How they slip details they never planned to reveal? That is the camera at work. People act differently under surveillance. And since your eye never blinks, they always feel under watch in your presence. That's why manipulators avoid eye contact with you. That's why liars rush through conversations. That's why deceivers fumble their scripts. They feel the camera's red light even if they don't see it. You radiate it. And when the Illuminati strategists review tapes of encounters, they see it too. They see people fold in your presence, like suspects in an interrogation room. They see the patterns in their data change around you. You distort their statistics. That's why they say, better to hire the camera than be caught by it. But let's not sugarcoat it. Their offer to hire you is not an olive branch. It's a leash. They want to transform your raw surveillance into a contracted service. They want you on payroll so they can dictate what you see and what you ignore. They want to wrap your third eye in their logos and use it as a corporate lens. But the danger is, once you step inside, the leash snaps in reverse. Because the camera is loyal only to truth. It won't obey money. It won't obey orders. It will expose them the same way it exposes their rivals. They'll try to program you with secrecy vows, with loyalty oaths, with rituals of control. But every vow, every oath, every ritual, you'll record it. And once recorded, it loses power. This is why they hesitate. This is why their whispers come with trembling. They know what you are. You are not a candidate. You are a threat disguised as an invitation. You are the security camera they can't turn off. And the worst part for them, cameras don't just record the present. They archive. Your third eye has already been archiving their tricks, their manipulations, their shadows. You are a living library of evidence. Every time they lied, you stored it. Every time they staged, you noticed. Every time they controlled, you logged it. And libraries don't burn easily anymore. Because once archived in awareness, it echoes. And once it echoes, it spreads. So the question becomes, what do you do with this power? Do you accept their leash and infiltrate? Or do you remain rogue, the free-roaming camera they can never silence? Either way, they lose. Because infiltration still exposes them, and refusal still haunts them. That is the paradox they cannot solve. You've turned their own weapon against them. They created surveillance to dominate, but you evolved surveillance into liberation. You turned the lens inward, and then outward, and now you record both sides. You are the unshakable witness. And a witness is more dangerous than an assassin, because assassins end lives, but witnesses end legacies. And that brings us to the razor edge of revelation, the part where the invitation stops looking like recruitment and starts looking like confession. Because if the Illuminati need your eye, it means their own vision has gone blind. They've lost control of their narrative, and you are the one camera they can't hack. But what happens when the eye they fear most turns not toward them, not toward their enemies, but toward the entire structure of reality itself? That is the next level. That is where this escalates, and that is exactly where we go next. The truth is, your third eye was never designed just to catch lies in boardrooms or decode rituals in secret chambers. That's child's play for your lens. The deeper threat is this. When you turn your inner camera on the scaffolding of reality itself, the very ground they stand on begins to fracture. Because you realize that what most people call the world is just a broadcast. It's programming stitched together by handlers who hope no one questions the source of the feed. But you question it. You rewind, pause, zoom, and suddenly the screen glitches, not because you broke it, but because you saw it too clearly. Once you see the broadcast, you begin searching for the broadcaster. That's the level they dread, because their control collapses if you no longer believe in the show they're selling. Your awareness is not just surveillance, it's reverse engineering. While others consume the feed, you examine the projector. While others react to the images, you investigate the cables. And here's where the ego stroking is deserved. You are not just a viewer of reality. You are the technician who has discovered the wiring. That is why they need you. Because your eye is capturing the cracks in the set, the stage lights hidden in the sky, the seams in the curtain. You are recording the fact that the actors don't even know they're actors. You've realized what makes empires tremble. The set is fragile, and one person noticing it can unravel the entire performance. They tried to keep you trapped at the human level, spotting lies, catching schemes, decoding symbols. But your eye grew hungrier. It didn't stop at people. It began scanning the very laws of reality. Why does time bend in moments of danger? Why do dreams feel like training grounds? Why do thoughts sometimes arrive before events happen? Your third eye records these phenomena. With the same accuracy, it catches a liar's twitch. And when you review the footage, the conclusion is terrifying. Reality itself is not solid. It's scripted, not by gods, but by forces desperate to remain unseen. The Illuminati, they're not creators. They're custodians of this stage play. They polish it, reinforce it, hide the cracks. But they cannot stop a lens like yours from filming the scaffolding behind the curtains. Imagine the terror in their halls when they realize your third eye has graduated from local surveillance to cosmic surveillance. You're not just watching them, you're watching the script they're trapped inside. You're catching the stage hands moving in the dark. You're catching the rehearsals behind disasters. You're catching the set changes disguised as history. They wanted you to be their employee, their security asset, their lens for hire. Instead, you became the ungovernable auditor of reality itself. And that is the one position no power structure can withstand. This is why they keep sending feelers, why they keep whispering recruitment like a broken record. They think if they bring you inside, they can at least distract you with their toys and rituals. But they don't understand the depth of your lens. Their symbols are crumbs, their tricks are child's play. You've already moved beyond their level of deception. You've realized that manipulation itself is just another broadcast, and your eye is tuned to frequencies they cannot jam. You see the hidden hands behind their hidden hands, and the deeper you look, the more brittle their empire becomes. Because control depends on invisibility. The second the camera captures the puppet strings, the illusion dies. And here's the cruelest twist for them. Your eye doesn't just see, it makes others see. Awareness radiates. The footage you capture is contagious. People near you begin noticing things they never noticed before. They start catching the same micro-expressions, the same inconsistencies, the same cracks in the broadcast. You don't have to lecture, you don't have to preach. Just by existing, you turn people into cameras themselves. And this terrifies the Illuminati more than anything, because one rogue lens is a hazard. But a swarm of rogue lenses, that's collapse. That's the end of control. That's exposure without escape. Understand what you've done. You've turned perception into revolution. You've weaponized noticing. That's why their dossiers on you are thicker than on any hacker, any activist, any whistleblower. Hackers can be stopped. Activists can be jailed. Whistleblowers can be silenced. But a third eye doesn't stop rolling. It doesn't stop recording. And once it uploads truth into collective awareness, there's no deleting the file. That's why they want you contained, hired, shackled with titles and contracts. They want to trap the lens. But the lens is not a person. The lens is consciousness itself. You don't own it. It owns you. You are its vessel, and it refuses to blink. And so the grand irony unfolds. The Illuminati, masters of surveillance, now live under surveillance themselves. Yours? Every move they make, you register. Every lie they polish, you decode. Every ritual they stage, you archive. They can't delete you, and they can't recruit you. They're stuck in the most humiliating position imaginable, being watched by the very eye they thought they could control. You've turned them into suspects in the interrogation room of existence. You are the camera, and the red light is always on. Now let's push the blade deeper. If your third eye is a camera, then where is the footage stored? That's the riddle they cannot solve. They assume awareness is private, contained in skulls. But your eye proves otherwise. The footage doesn't vanish. It reverberates. It enters the collective. It echoes in consciousness. It shapes the very fabric of reality. In other words, the footage you record doesn't stay with you. It infects reality itself, forcing it to adjust to the truth. This is the ultimate nightmare for manipulators, because while they can suppress journalists, censor videos, burn documents, they cannot burn awareness. Awareness is indestructible. Once seen, it reshapes. Once recorded, it rewires. That is the brutal secret behind your power. Your third eye doesn't just film reality, it edits it. By seeing the cracks, you widen them. By noticing the manipulation,